I have hit yet another milestone. This is my 2100th video. And believe me, that's no easy task. Now, I know you're thinking, well, all you have to do is just comment. Oh, you could do that. But then you wouldn't get very many views doing it. If you really want the views, you have to make unique videos. That's just the way it works. Even if the videos are educational, you still have to make them unique. Otherwise, nobody's going to be interested. Now, normally, I would go through a whole bunch of my comments and I would talk to those people and so on and so forth. But there's a reason why I'm not going to do it this particular time. The reason for that, sorry about the camera, the reason I'm not going to do that is that I am about to hit yet another milestone. And so it's okay for me to address this video to Andrew Grady, and then on my next milestone video I will then go through all my comments and I will start talking and so on and so forth, and let's not bore you with that. So if you're standing there saying, well, he's not commenting to me on this particular video, wait until the next milestone, which is coming up really quick. You have no idea how quick this is coming up. It'll probably be done by the end of the week. Okay, so Andrew Grady writes, oh, okay, but can you go on about your interests and your ability to participate in those interests? Of course I can. Obviously, as you look at me, you can pretty much tell that I was not Fabio when I was young, nor was I rich. Okay, so both of those should give you kind of an indication of who I am. So, not being Fabio, and on top of that, not being rich either, well, my opportunities as a kid were kind of limited. Yes, my father, my brother, my grandfather, they were all into car mechanics. I will grant you that. However, I just wasn't a car mechanic. Nor was I interested in construction, which a lot of them knew how to do a lot of construction. Oh, we build this, build this, build this. Well, fine. I have no interest in that. When I read about history, I read how hard all the work was. Let me tell you something. You're talking to the king of lazy here. I really don't want to work that hard. So the past really doesn't interest me that much. As for the present, at that time, the present was in many ways still like the past. Not in all ways, but in many ways. So who wanted to work that hard? My interest was in science fiction. I had a whole collection of Star Wars action figures. The same was true with all the Transformers. And I definitely got into video games early on. I loved working with computers. I still love working with them today. Oh, sure, they're a pain in the butt, and I'd like to just take a flamethrower to a few of them, but I do very well with computers. I really do. A lot of people ask me, are you into photography? Not really, but I am into geography. That I am into. So, why did I even get into Euclid's Elements? Now, that's a good question. The answer is that a lot of people did not tell me that they even existed. And I didn't like that. When somebody tells you that something, when somebody doesn't tell you something exists, they're kind of cheating you. So that's why I got into Euclid's Elements. Believe it or not, I actually flunked geometry not once, but twice. And many of my viewers already know this. So there you go. Anyway, so I do have an interest in geometry in the line of Euclid's Elements and in higher end math as well. There's a lot of stuff that I just simply wasn't told, and now I'm learning it, and wow. So I do have an interest in that. I have a very big interest in the Financial Accounting Standards Board just because nobody ever told me it was there. I got into the Looking for Lincoln Heritage Coalition signs because of the geography. That map was wrong. The signs are wonderful, but the map was wrong, and I just could not let it go. And so I went out to these places, and I have seen a lot of Illinois geography that I did not know existed. So I'm learning a lot of geography. I have learned some history, and some of that history is fascinating, but I don't want to do any hard, heavy labor, trust me. If they wanted me to be a reenactor, I'd say, no, I don't want to wear those awful uniforms. I certainly don't want to do that much work. Even if it's play work, I still don't want to do it. I'm lazy. What can I say? a lot of people ask me, do you read from Kindles? No, I do not. Electricity ever goes out and your Kindle's gone. So I actually do read physical books. I have Reader's Digest. I have a fascination with Reader's Digest because I have a fascination with people. I find people's lives very fascinating. So yes, I do read Reader's Digest. When I was a kid, I used to read National Geographic. Now, as for my fascination with meteorology, I've had a few tornadoes come a little too close to me, and that's why I got into it. And I'm learning a lot about it, and I'm also then therefore teaching all of you. So yes, I do have fascination with that. In your comment, you said, I like circuits and electronics. Well, so do I. I just don't like to mess with thermal glue. I don't like to mess with anything that's greasy or sticky. Ugh. You like motors. I'm fascinated with the science behind motors, but the actual motors themselves, that involves grease. I don't want to deal with that. Building go-karts. I do like racing. I really do. I don't watch a lot of it because I just don't have a lot of time to watch a lot of it, but I do like racing. Especially seeing how these people actually put those cars together. That is fascinating. To see how they actually get that horsepower out of the car. As far as building them, I would not build them, but to know the science behind it, I would not mind drafting cars. Really. So, anyway. So, basically, those are my interests. The main reason why I got onto YouTube in the first place is that I actually ran into a brick wall. I like computer programming. That's why I got into data processing. That's why I am a data processor. But so many people are so afraid of their computers because they don't understand them that I was not able to market what I was creating. And if you can't market it, what's the point of creating it? What, show it on some television screen so everybody can say, ooh, oh, but I don't want it in my computer. Yeah. So that's one of the biggest reasons I get into this. Now, I get a lot of feedback from people, not only on the street, but also on my YouTube channel. Because you are so intelligent with electronics, with auto mechanics, that kind of thing, I'm sure you find my videos very, very boring. That's true. And if you were to ask me covering the same stuff that I already now know, I would say it's pretty boring. You're absolutely right. However, when I talk to a lot of people, especially the unemployed, especially those facing bullyism, especially those facing eviction and starvation, they don't find my stuff boring. They find it a lifesaver. And I get these comments all the time, from real life people and from people on YouTube, even from Facebook, even from Twitter, and so on and so forth. And I could go on, but I'm not going to bore you. So, what may be boring for you may not be boring for somebody else. And my videos do get viewed. There's no question about it. So, one of the things that I got in the line of a comment, not that many, well, it's been a couple of years now. The guy was telling me, he says, to some people your videos are boring. He says, I don't want you to stop doing what you're doing now. But he says, could you expand and do other things besides this? I took his suggestion. Hence, the parade footage I have, the looking for Lincoln signs. I have covered topics that were very much off the educational scale. I have found that when you start a channel on a certain format, you need to really stay with that format. Pogobat made the biggest mistake of his life by changing the format of his channel. This happened with Hemi Jeep, and we're not even going to get into the fat Aussie bastard. He really wrecked his channel. So, when you suddenly change the format of your channel, or you alter how many days the channel's on, so on and so forth, you're going to lose subscribers. There is no question anywhere that you're going to actually lose subscribers. So, it's very important not to change the format, but you can actually expand the format. And that's what I'm doing here, is I actually have been in the process of expanding the format. I actually review other videos. Believe it or not. I actually did a review of Dude Perfect. and presented my particular beliefs and whatever. When it came to nail polish remover, that was actually inspired by Beauty Crush. She was presenting a video that I totally disagreed with. She was telling people that shyness, it's okay to be shy. It's okay to have a problem with shyness. What is not okay is to let it continue on perpetually, because it can actually lead into social anxiety disorder. And that was what I was trying to tell her. But she didn't want to listen to that. So I decided, since these beauty channels won't cover certain things, I decided to cover them myself. Hence, now you see an entire playlist of beauty. I've covered high heel shoes, corsets, Victoria's Secret, yeah. I've covered nail polish remover. I think I'm going to save a lot of lives, especially the lives of teenage girls, by telling them what I told them on that nail polish remover video. All those teenage girls have to do is watch it, and they'll see for themselves. So I've covered the subject of nylon. You know, guys should know as much about nylon as girls. You're going to be really surprised to hear that, but it's true. So I'm not going to stop making those educational videos, but what I am going to do is expand out and teach about other things. And maybe not even teach, but just review. I've actually reviewed music videos. I've actually reviewed other people's videos. So I think you're getting the idea here. It's not about stopping what I'm doing. It's about expanding out. That way I have my core audience, which watches the educational stuff, but then I develop a new core audience, which watches the other stuff. Okay, so now I have two audiences instead of one. So when it comes to my channel, no, I do not let people dictate what I do on my channel, but when they make suggestions, I try to integrate it as best as I can into my YouTube channel, so I'm not changing the format, but on the other hand, expanding out and appealing to more people. So I think that's the best way to go on this. Setting time limits, it depends on the topic. Sometimes I don't want to set a time limit because the information is so vital. But other times, maybe I do ramble just a bit. Maybe you find this video to be a little bit rambling, but there's a lot of information packed in this video. And I don't want to split it up into 7, 8 videos. I really don't. That wastes a lot of time, and people then don't want to watch 7 or 8 videos, and then they argue me about that, and yeah. But anyway, hopefully you now are getting a better sense of what I'm doing here. And I can tell you right now, I'm getting to the point where I am probably boring the thunder out of you. For a person like you, you're probably young, you're probably used to having the smartphones, that kind of thing. You're probably used to a fast-paced technology. But I will tell you, there are older people who also watch my videos that are used to a much slower pace. So for them, this isn't near as boring as what you might find it. So hopefully, the one thing I really would like to see you do, I really would, is to meet people that are facing eviction, starvation, massive bullyism, that kind of thing, and see what they think of my videos. I know what you think of them, and that's fine. You're entitled, but I want you to see what they think of them. And I think you're going to be surprised at the answer. I think you'll be rather shocked at the answer. As a matter of fact, just to prove my point, my very next video is going to cover how to access your webcam through Facebook. I have been asked about that. They want me to do a video about it, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you probably take that as second nature. I could do that like that. Older people can't. It's true. Ask them. Find out. They'll tell you. So, I have videos that appeal to an older audience. I have videos now that appeal to a younger audience. I have videos that appeal to a quicker audience, and some that don't appeal to... some that just appeal to people that are used to slower things. I know it's hard to believe, but there was a time, even in my lifetime, where we actually mailed things through the mail. We didn't actually do things over the internet. That might seem foreign to you, but there you go. But anyway, I think I'll go ahead and congratulate myself on my 2100th video. And hopefully you'll congratulate me on that, because it is quite an accomplishment. It's interesting to think that I had a 2-bit educational channel and I have actually gotten over 170,000 views in 3.5 years. I didn't think I'd pull that off. I really didn't. I didn't think I'd have 2,100 videos either. I never would have suspected that I would have 500 people that follow me on a regular basis. I never suspected that. So, hopefully, by addressing this to you, I may have made up for what I wasn't able to do in my previous video. And if you leave me a comment on this particular one, I probably will mention it in my next landmark video, which is coming up very, very soon. And hopefully you'll understand on that particular video that I'm going to talk about. This is the video that it's coming up. I'm coming up to 175,000 views. And when I reach that milestone, I'll go ahead and make that video. If I'm not in depth with you on that one, that is only because I want to make sure to expand out to everybody. There's going to be lots of comments I'm going to mention on the thing. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So hopefully you'll bear with me on that. If you want to, you can participate in my video response wars contest. That's another good way for me to respond back to you. And I do welcome your feedback. And I will do my best to accommodate you up to a certain level. I want to meet you halfway. So, I know this video probably bored you to pieces. I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to give you a lot of information, and I think that's what you've gotten. Anyway, I'm going to cut this off from here. Yes, I have actually achieved video number 2100. It's great, fantastic, wonderful. I should have a cake in front of me. Maybe next time I will. In the meantime, I hope everybody stays tuned, because, well, I guess I'll finish the video up in one statement. When it comes to Che Higgins, Dash TC, David Matthews, I'm going to go ahead and mention New Age videos. I thank you all for subscribing. Spirit to Dance has been following me, so Spirit to Dance, thank you for following me. Anita Cheesecake has been following me really good. There's a few others that have also done so. If I have not mentioned you in this video, leave a comment below and I will talk to you in the next one, because that next milestone is just a few clicks away. I'm not kidding you. So it's not going to be long. Like I said, by the end of the weekend, maybe early into next week, we'll be having that landmark video. So if I've not mentioned you, leave a comment and I will mention you in the next one. I thank you all for subscribing. I thank you all for watching me. I hope you all have a great weekend and a great week ahead. And I want you to look forward to my 175,000th view, because I have a lot to talk about and I will talk about a lot of things. And hopefully I won't bore anybody to death. Anyway, this is Ted the Speed Learner signing off. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.